It's understandable that some people think Bernie Sanders quit his presidential candidacy. After all, he chose to run for the nomination of the Democratic Party to help them become better than they were, and they blatantly cheated every step of the way. And since then, he's promoted the candidate they selected. Does this mean he would rather have us elect her than himself? Of course not. Listen to what Bernie said when asked about encouraging people to vote for Hillary Clinton.
We're not a movement where I can snap my fingers and say to you or to anybody else what you should do, because you won't listen to me. You shouldn't. You make these decisions yourself.
Obviously, he would rather we elect her than her plan B, Donald Trump, which Hillary and the DNC helped to get the Republican Party nomination, and whom they would blame Bernie for the election of if he didn't support Hillary publicly. But if you listen carefully, what he's really supporting is the platform he helped build. After all, if Hillary does the things she apparently promised Bernie she would do, we should be okay, right?
I think if we end up losing, and I hope we do not, and if Secretary Clinton wins, it is incumbent upon her to tell millions of people who right now do not believe in establishment politics or establishment economics, who have serious misgivings about a candidate who has received millions of dollars from Wall Street and other special interests. She has got to go out to you and to millions of other people and say, yeah, I think the United States should join the rest of the industrialized world and take on the private insurance companies and the greed of the drug companies and pass a Medicare for all. I think that, says Secretary Clinton, that for the young people in this country, you should not have to leave college $30,000, $50,000, $70,000 in debt, because we're going to make, as many other countries around the world do, public colleges and universities tuition free. I think Secretary Clinton is going to have to explain to millions of young people and a lot of other people that climate change is a real crisis and incrementalism is just not going to solve it.
So, do you trust Hillary to do these things? Have you heard her say she will, as Bernie said it is incumbent upon her to do? Would you take her word for it if you did hear her say it? I wouldn't, but that's me. However, by working as an ally to the Democratic Party, Bernie is protecting the progressive platform, which he worked very hard to get them to adopt. And Bernicrats we elect into both branches of Congress will be able to use that platform as leverage to hold Hillary to much of what she has promised by proxy if she gets elected.
And she is going to have to come on board and say, yeah, I know it's hard, but I am going to take on the fossil fuel industry and pass a carbon tax. So the point that I am making is it is incumbent upon Secretary Clinton to reach out not only to my supporters, but to all of the American people with an agenda that they believe will represent the interest of working families, lower income people, the middle class, those of us who are concerned about the environment and not just big money interests.
However, Bernie also knows that many of his supporters simply will not vote for Hillary Clinton. So ask yourself what you really think he would want those people to do. Obviously, he doesn't want them voting for Donald Trump, since the Democratic Party platform couldn't be used as leverage to keep a Republican president in line. And Bernie has stated clearly that he feels the election of Trump would be a disaster. He has also stated clearly that his main reason for supporting Hillary is that he sees her as better than Trump and thinks it's inevitable that one or the other is going to be elected. That is, after all, what the establishment has already decided, and we the people have very little say in the matter. However, we do have some say in the matter, and Bernie is still an option if we choose to go that route. First off, keep in mind that Hillary and Trump both have huge disapproval ratings. So if people vote honestly, other candidates should win in enough states to prevent either of them from receiving 270 votes from the Electoral College. That will mean the Senate and the House of Representatives will be choosing the new vice president and president, respectively. Not the currently incumbent members of Congress, but the ones in office after the 2016 election. The decision will not be made by the current establishment, but by a mix of the current establishment and the new members of Congress chosen to replace some of them. Every state that elects a candidate other than Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump increases the chances that our newly elected Congress members will be able to choose from among the top two vice presidential candidates and the top three presidential candidates. And if Bernie Sanders wins in California, where we worked so hard to make him a valid write in candidate, he's almost guaranteed to be among the top three. That means if we elect enough Bernicrats as senators and representatives in Congress, a good candidate like Bernie Sanders will be elected in 2016 as the president of the USA. In fact, if enough people refuse to vote for Hillary or Trump and refuse to not vote in the presidential election, even with all the people who have already voted for those two on early voting ballots, it's still possible that we could end up with neither of them in the top three, and Congress not even having the option to pick one of them. So spread the word what the real options are and make up your own mind who to vote for. But please do vote if you can. And please encourage other people to also carefully consider the real options and to cast an honest vote.
We need a future.
You're running for president. The answer is yes. I wish you luck.
Unreasonably likely to win. Thank you.